Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. This video is all about preparing for 2025 in the best way that we possibly can to set ourselves up for success. For me, I feel like the time between Christmas and New Year's, just that week, it's so easy to just fall into a bit of a slump. Feel like your body's getting rest for the first time all year. You've just spent heaps of time around friends and family and eating and going out, and it's just been a whirlwind, and it can be easy to just want to be in bed and just not do anything, talk to anyone. And while I think that is definitely valid and important to do, I also think it's so crucial to actually use this time to really help yourself start fresh for the new year, reflect on everything that's happened this year, reflect on your goals, reflect on your progress, and really set yourself up and put yourself in a good spot so that you feel ready to conquer the new year with a bit of conviction and a bit of purpose, because that's what you deserve. You deserve to have an amazing year. You deserve to achieve your dreams, and you absolutely have the power within you. I have a little bit of a plan today to do some visualization and set some intentions for the kind of year that I want to have, but also the kind of person that I want to be. For me personally, I've been on a bit of a journey the last few years just to really discover myself, grow, learn, explore what I want out of life. I mean, that's what your early 20s are all about. And it can be challenging. It definitely can. I think I faced a lot of challenges this year just in dealing with my emotions and figuring out who I am, and I think that's fine. I think there's no rush in trying to figure out who you are and what you want out of life. You know, that's kind of the whole point, is the journey, not the destination. And I think becoming the best version of yourself normally only occurs in the journey, not when you get to the destination. So I think it's important while we set intentions and goals to realize that it's okay if we change course halfway through the year and we think, you know what, I'm not really vibing with what I thought I wanted, and I'm changing direction. And it's okay if you don't exactly know the life you want to have. But I do think that making small steps forward can really help catapult us into where we want to be. And it just brings us that little bit closer into finding what we actually want. It doesn't mean we have to have it all figured out right away. I personally love visualization and the art of manifestation. I know it's not for everyone, but I think no matter what you believe, I think visualization can be really amazing in helping us just take the right steps in the right direction. And it's also lots of fun. If nothing else, if you don't believe in manifestation and you don't believe in visualization, it's so much fun. It's a bit of an art project, and you know, it's exciting to get excited for the new year and what might be in store for you. I read this book called Manifest. I was trying to find it, I can't find it. I will put it in the description. The author outlined different subsections of your life that it could be helpful to break up into sections and visualize individually what you want your life to look like in each section. The sections were personal development, family and friends, hobbies and leisure, career, and home. So that is actually step 2 of the day, so we'll be doing that a little bit later. First things first, I want to reflect on 2024 before I can even begin to think about 2025 and what I want my year to look like. I really want to think about 2024 and reflect on everything that I achieved and maybe some things that I didn't achieve, and reevaluate, do I want to carry that into next year with me, or is that something that I don't resonate with anymore and I don't feel the need that I need to give it any energy. I think by reflecting on your past, you can be clear about where you are right now and where you want to get to. And I think it's also just so important to celebrate your achievements as well. I think so many of us, I'm really bad at this. I never really celebrate any of my wins or achievements. It just makes me uncomfortable, but it's something that I'm trying to get better at, because I think it's so important for our self-esteem in terms of self-love as well, to really acknowledge everything that you've done big or small. Let's get out the journal and ask ourselves a few big questions. I've got my journal here and I've got a few questions that I want to ask myself. Well, one major thing that I did that I wanted to do this year was step outside of my comfort zone, and I 100% did that in comparison to previous years. I applied for Miss Universe Australia. I got through to the final round and that was a life-changing experience. I got to travel in that program. I got to see Vietnam for the first time. I got to walk on a runway stage. I got to do so many incredible things and I really pushed myself through that experience. So that is something that I definitely feel like I did. I also started this YouTube channel. Insane. Never thought I would. I have just started obviously, but I'm putting myself out there and that's huge because I love being creative. I love making things and I feel like I haven't been doing that in the last few years, so to finally have started and make steps in the direction towards creativity and self-expression, which are two things that are, you know, a core part of who I am, makes me so happy and I'm really proud of that. I also wanted to volunteer this year and I did. I volunteered for several foundations and that was probably one of the biggest highlights of my year because I learned so much and I learned a lot about what it means to be grateful for all that you have and what really matters in this world, and I think those are huge lessons. Some things that I didn't do: I didn't start cooking. Cooking is always on my list and I never do it because I'm not a good cook, unfortunately. But I'm not going to say that anymore. That narrative is over. I have improvements to make in the cooking area and I will make those improvements. I think with cooking, practice does make perfect. I just really need to give it a proper go and not be so worried about the outcome and just trust the process. But that's definitely going on my list again for next year. So this is just an example of my life. I'm not going to tell you every single thing that I wanted to do, did or didn't do, but I just want to give you some examples of reflecting on your goals and what really asking yourself what you want to carry into next year. Some other questions that I think would be a great idea to ask yourself before the new year are: what have been your biggest strengths this year and what have been your biggest weaknesses? For example, one of my greatest strengths was saying yes to opportunities that came my way because they led me to incredible experiences and a lot of self-growth. So that's something I want to carry with me till next year. Just continue to say yes and put myself out there. Something that is a weakness, I would say, is caring too much what other people think. Now that's just a really hard thing to get over. However, I actually had my first counselling session this morning to get some help with that. You know, I've tried myself to jump over the hurdle and I haven't really been able to do it this year. So I've sought help and now I'm going to get some navigation and some tools to hopefully stop caring what others think and just trust myself and love myself enough to know that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of me. It only matters what I think of me. Things like that really help us clear out what we don't want and make room for the things that we really do want. Another question that I think is so nice is: what brought me the most joy last year and how can I bring that into next year? For me, I would say it's spending time with friends and family. That always brings me the most joy. Being around people I love and people that I know I can be myself around always makes me happy. So I'm going to prioritize that, you know, forever, not just next year, but forever. Another question that I really love to ask, it's not really reflective of last year, but it's a really good question to ask yourself every now and then, is: what's something that I would try if I knew I couldn't fail? And it might be one big thing or a lot of little things, but no matter what it is, I want you to think about it logically, and if you knew you couldn't fail, what steps would you take to get there? Because guaranteed there probably is a pathway for you there if you just believe in yourself. You know, starting a YouTube channel. Just take out your camera, take out your phone and start doing it. Just start making the steps and see what comes of it. If you know you can't fail, if you think I'm going to be successful, I'm going to love doing this, and I'm doing it for me and I'm passionate about it, just do it. If you have always wanted to try tennis but you're scared of looking stupid, just buy a racket and start practicing. Go do some lessons. Ask someone you know who's good at tennis to help you. There is nothing standing in your way except for yourself. And I think really checking in with yourself and asking yourself, if I knew I couldn't fail, would I actually give this a go? The answer will probably be yes, because 9 times out of 10 the thing stopping us is fear. Fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, fear of what others will say. If you take all that away, you're left with what you really want to do, and life is short, so it's so important to just go for it. Now that we've done our reflection period, it's time to do our vision boards and really focus on what we want next year to look like. So I'm gonna head out to the shops now and go and buy a few little bits and bobs, but first I need to make sure I've got all my pictures ready. I like to use Pinterest. We're going to scroll through Pinterest, pick out our favorite feelings and vibes for each section of our board, and we're going to get going with our boards, and I'm so excited. Few hours later now, I've done my vision boards, as you guys can see, and I feel so much better and more clear about my intentions, and I just feel excited for the year to come, and I feel motivated. The next thing that I think is so important when going into the new year is setting some goals. Now, I think personally for me, I don't really feel like, I tend to feel overwhelmed if I set any major huge life goals. I prefer to break them down and set some smaller, more bite-sized goals that I know I really can do, and kind of focus more on the habits, the healthy habits that are going to enable me to be the person I want to be, to live the life I want to live. For me, I know that I want to feel grounded and centered next year so that I can be the best, happiest, kindest version of myself. That is really important to me, and I know for me to do this I need to be able to take time for myself and really prioritize self-care. Of course, self-care is more than just having a bath and doing a face mask. It's a little bit deeper than that. It's prioritizing yourself, setting boundaries, learning to say no, and making sure that you're always looking out for your own needs. But I do think that self-care can also mean taking care of yourself, relaxing, unwinding, doing what you need to do to recharge. And I think when we're setting these goals, it's so crucial to set something that is measurable, something that you can work into your routine. For me, I want to make sure that I am practicing one night of self-care a week, preferably Sunday night, so that I'm ready for the rest of the week. And I've actually gone out and bought a little basket that I've filled with self-care items like face masks, hair masks, bath bombs, things that I know really calm me and unwind me, so that anytime I'm in need of self-care, it's there, it's ready. I don't need to make any excuses. I've actually gone ahead and made a little basket full of items, which you don't need to do this, but this is just an example of something that I feel will help me next year to stay grounded. But I've just got little face masks in here, and hair masks and eye masks, a few bath bombs. So when we're setting goals for next year, that is my word of advice, is to think about how you can work it into a daily habit that's healthy and easy to achieve, and just not overwhelming yourself with massive goals that are impossible to measure or track. This is just one example of one of my goals, and I think it's a really good way to think about it, because I feel like if we just set these extreme goals, I want to exercise more, it's not specific, it's not measurable, you're not, you know, really addressing why you want to exercise more. You know, I think it's important as humans that we know why we want to do the things we want to do. I want to exercise more because I want to feel good and sleep better. I will do this by exercising every second day. I will sign up to the gym today. It's a plan, it's easy, you can do it, and you can track your progress, and that again makes you feel great and gives you motivation to keep going. Those are my kind of the big three that I like to do every year: reflect, visualize, and set some goals. But I hope that some of these tips helped you. I mean, I'm sure they're things we all know, but sometimes it's easy to get overwhelmed, and I think the key with starting this year right is knowing that, you know, there's not just one chance to change and turn your life around. You know, you don't have to do it all just January 1st, and if you don't do it then, you're done, you're a failure. That's not at all the situation. Every single day is a chance to start fresh. When you wake up in the morning, it's a chance to start fresh, and that's the beauty of life. And you should never expect yourself to change overnight. In fact, there is so much beauty to be found in the journey towards your goal, really, over than achieving it. I mean, it's the journey where we learn the most, we become the person we want to be, and we have the most fun, even during the times that are tough. You know, when you pick yourself up and you keep going, that feels incredible, and you should be so proud of yourself in those moments. More proud of yourself in those moments than when you actually get to the finish line. And I can't wait to see what we all achieve together. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's do this.